Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Okay, all right, here we go. Hump Day edition, Wednesday, right in the middle of the week. Hope you're having a good week as we kick off a Wednesday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jack, streaming on all the social media platforms. Hope you catch us on something. Obviously, if you're watching and or listening, you are catching us somewhere. Glad you're with us here today. A lot to get to. Obviously, Jaguar Draft Talk as we are finally within less than 2 days away, less than a day away, or about a day away or so. The prediction is tomorrow, Thursday, 8:45-ish. If the Jaguars stay at number 5, that's when they will make their pick, number 5 in the first round. We hope to hear from Patrick Young today. Certainly tomorrow. We're going to have a big time tomorrow. We're in studio today. We will be at our normal Thursday location, Sliders Oyster Bar, 1 block from the official Jaguar party, which you know is at the Lemon Bar. Now, as we welcome Zach Rothrock real quick to the show. Zach, that party the Jaguars are throwing at the Lemon Bar, that's a ticketed event. But I think there's a lot of people that have already, gone online and got their tickets squared away. I'm still worried about parking tomorrow, boys. I'm just worried about some of the townies that may not know what they're driving into. Okay, just me. It's just me, but we will be set up tomorrow as normal on our Thursday location, 4 to 6 at Sliders Oyster Bar. Come by, have a draft before the draft. We'll be on the patio like we are, just having a good time. So if you want to do a little warm-up before, the draft also is an awkward time. Gosh darn, it starts at 8 o'clock. You would think, and I get it, I get the West Coast and trying to bring in the majority of the country, but man, couldn't they have started that at 7 or 7:30? Get that thing going. I don't know. What do I know? Speaking of the draft, speaking of the first round, speaking of the Jaguars' number 5 pick, the Jaguars, I think, if they stay at 5, the Jaguars tomorrow, particularly in the first half of the first round, I think the Jaguars will control the first round. Will it be calm? Or will it be chaos? I think what the Jaguars do, if they do anything in terms of moving, the Jaguars, I think, will control. I think the first 4 picks are going to go. Bam, 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 bam. I think if there's any top of the first round chaos, it'll be because the Jaguars are right in the middle of it. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. Zach, have you thought about that? That if anything's moved around, if anything goes absolutely haywire, I think the Jaguars will be in the middle of that, trading in, trading out. And I'm going to throw this out. I would like to see them trade back, get a proven offensive lineman, and then just swap picks. Now, I'm going to say this. If they do that, it's not always a 1-for-1 trade back. It could be a 3-team trade back. The team that wants Ashton, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out if 1, 2, 3, and 4 go as predicted. Ward, Hunter, Carter, and then who is it? Campbell, the big offensive lineman from LSU. If those go as planned, then we truly do find out, was the Jeanty talk legit? If it's legit, they draft Jeanty at 5. If it was a smokescreen, it could go 2 ways. If it was a smokescreen, they'll trade out, and whoever they trade out with will pick Jeanty at 5, and the Jaguars will drop back. That'll tell you if it was kind of a smokescreen. But if they trade out and the team up top doesn't take Jeanty, well, it's interesting. I can't remember the Jaguars being in a position in the draft to really they've got the swing pick. If 1, 2, 3, and 4 go as we said, as we think, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then it's on the Jaguars. Were they legit, they want the running back. My goodness, the Mason Graham stuff's gone, isn't it? Where did the Mason Graham stuff go? It's going to be fun, though. The Jaguars really haven't been in this position where they kind of control the temperature of the top of the first round. And also, wouldn't you love to be flies on the wall in the player personnel departments of the NFL teams today, this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow morning? Because, the draft is closing in. You've talked, you've offered, some organizations have talked to other organizations about a deal, moving up, moving back, adding picks, subtracting picks, blah, 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 blah. There's always that concern, though, organization to organization. Are they lying? If you're the Jaguars, even if you don't want to take the running back in the current roster that you have and you're going to have, why not talk it up, man? Why not tell the world you love Ashton Jeanty? Tell the world, keep people guessing, man. Keep people guessing. I don't expect a lot of news today or tonight because you don't want to pull the trigger and panic or make a move before the phone may ring tomorrow at 3, tomorrow at 5, tomorrow at 7, tomorrow at 7:59. Going to be fun. Going to be fun. Interesting. Peter Schrager, pretty well-known, respected draft analyst for ESPN. It was on ESPN today. Most people have talked about this. I just want to go over it, though, again real quick. He has come out with his last, I guess, mock draft, first-round mock draft. And he did a pretty cool thing. He qualified his final mock draft, and you can see it on ESPN. And he said, this is the way I think the first round will fall out according to my source information. And this guy is pretty well sourced. I think everybody in the industry agrees. But he throws out, this is not just his theory. I think team 1's going to do this, team 2's going to do that, team 3. No. He has put out his mock and said, this is his mock draft according to all the sources he has, and supposedly very connected in the league. With that, I won't go over the whole thing, but the top 4 is pretty standard. At 5, he's got the Jaguars taking Ashton Jeanty through his source, and I think his source was our buddy Mike Duraco. So now, before you go, well, there you have it. Jaguars love Ashton Jeanty. Inside sources have said, well, know this. The NFL draft has historically had franchises, organizations throw out smoke screens to try and manipulate the draft. I'm not saying the Jaguars are doing that now, but that is commonly done. Now, the reporter that reports that type of stuff, he or she may know that it's a smokescreen. They may have been asked by the organization. That's been done many times. Organizations have asked media members, hey, float this. We really want this out there. So it's kind of what makes it fun. So there you have it. Round 1 tomorrow, 8 o'clock start on TV. If everything goes, and it should, with the timing between picks and commercial breaks, things like that, the Jaguars, if they stay at 5, they should pick tomorrow around 8:45 from what I'm understanding, from what I'm hearing. Will it be a calm number 5? Walk up to the podium by the commissioner? Will it be chaos? Will it be, there has been a trade? If there's been a trade, will it be the Jaguars and one team? Will it be the Jaguars? When I say it could be 3 teams, the Jaguars may be looking for a plug-and-play, ready-made offensive lineman on somebody's team that's much safer, somebody that you've seen play in the league for 2 or 3 years. You know that player can play at this level. That may be what they're looking for. The team that wants Ashton Jeanty the worst, maybe it's the Raiders, I don't know, if the Bears, the team that won, they may not have that collateral. They may not have that ready-made extra offensive lineman they're ready to give up. So they may invite a third team into the mix. That's happened. There may be a 3-team. This one gets that. The lineman from here goes there. The pick from here goes there. And then these two swap there. It could be a 3-team trade. You never know. All right, let's set up the rest of the show here on a Wednesday. Jaguar talk, certainly draft talk as we go. I've got some thoughts about the top 4 as well, especially the number 1 pick. I'm not anti-Cam Ward, but I don't think he's the player that you should get at 1 of 1. Just my thoughts. The Braves are winning. They're playing. They won today. So that helps. But the Braves lost last night. The Mets won last night. The Braves, until the Met game is finished and they're in the top of the 10th, the Mets are trailing Philadelphia. The Braves went into today 7.5 games back, even though they've gone 6-4 their last 10. Tough to dig out of the hole. Right now, if you're an Atlanta Brave fan, your goal in life right now, I think, is can you keep your nose above water just to get to the quarter pole, the 1/4 of the mark of the season. Right now, I mean, they're 7.5, 7 right now out, depending on the Phillies-Mets game, how that goes right now. So at best, they'll come out of today 6.5 back and really, really treading water. Let me take a quick look. MLB, take a quick look at MLB standings. How deep are the Braves actually into the season? I know we're very early. The Braves right now with their win today, they are 10-14. So they're 24 games in. Right at 25 games in, they're already 7 back. What's the quarter pole? 40 games is the quarter pole? If you're the Braves right now, a Braves fan, your first little small goal with this terrible start they got off, what were they, 0-7? Right now, goal number 1 is still be in viewing distance of first place or the wild card at the quarter pole. You worry about the midseason, you worry about the 3/4 pole later, man. But right now they are treading water. Braves, again, they've gone 6-4. They just had a 5-game winning streak snap. They just won another one. But they've gone 6-4 their last 10 and are 7 out. Whew. Tough start. And when you have to climb multiple teams, it is tough. We'll keep the Braves talk going. The Rose Bowl finally did something right. Coming up at 5:30, we'll talk with Brent Beard about the Rose Bowl. Finally, the Rose Bowl's always been a bit of a thorn in the side of college football. They've been so elitist. The Rose Bowl has always considered themselves, obviously, they're the nickname, the Granddaddy of them all. It's been around a long time. It's had some of the more historic games in the history of college football. On and on and on. We get that. We get what the Rose Bowl is. But the last 25, 30, 40 years, Rose Bowl has been one of. It hasn't been the Granddaddy, the standoff. They've held steady. They want to play January 1st at 5 o'clock. And the way college football has expanded the last couple of 3 decades, that's been a problem at times. The Rose Bowl finally did something right. They have come out and said, and the Rose Bowl will be a quarterfinal game in this next college football playoff. The Rose Bowl finally has come out and said they are moving their kickoff up 1 hour. Up 1 hour. So they will kick off at 4 o'clock Eastern instead of their traditional 5 o'clock Eastern. And you may think, what's the big? Well, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. When they were at 5, that forced that next game after the Rose Bowl to kick off very late, 8:30, 8:45. What this does now, coming up, the quarterfinals, the first game will be at noon Eastern. The second quarterfinal on that day will be the Rose Bowl at 4 o'clock, which then allows the third and final quarterfinal game that day at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, so noon 4-8, the Rose Bowl. And it may seem like a minor thing, but it was always the Rose Bowl has always been difficult. I'm glad they finally did something for the good of the cause, if you will. We'll talk about that with Brent Beard. We didn't get to get to this topic yesterday. It's not a huge topic around here. We're not a massive NBA market here. But my goodness, have you followed, what's his name? Nico Harrison. He's the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. He's the guy that made the call, that pulled the trigger to trade Luka. He traded Luka in his prime, the dominant, the great player for the Mavericks. I think he could have, and it's been panned across the league. It's just been panned. What were you doing? It's not like Luka's 40 years old and in the twilight of his career. He just took him, helped him go to the finals, NBA finals, blah, blah, blah. I think Harrison was going to survive. It would have been dicey, but God almighty, did you read his comments? I think his comments have got him fired. He has come out and said basically, well, I didn't really know the temperature of our fan base and just how much they adored Luka Doncic.
Yeah, that's kind of it feels like he should just look at the jersey sales for the team. You'd see that.
Zach, did you kind of follow this a couple days?
Yeah.
I'm reading it. I'm going, the trade may not have got you fired. I think he's going to get fired before, it's all over.
One would imagine.
But when I read his comments yesterday, we didn't get to it yesterday. I'm like, and I'm paraphrasing, but that's close what he said. Well, I want to, I didn't quite realize how much our organization, I didn't have the temperature of the room with our What? What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that, the Lakers had no idea that their fan base was so attached to Kobe Bryant a couple decades ago either.
Yes.
I'm sure they were equally disconnected.
Hey, I think the Bulls fans, they like Michael Jordan.
Potentially. A little bit, yeah.
I mean, he can't. And again, it's not like Luka is 38 and a long in tooth end of his career averaging 10. Luka's one of the best players. He took them, he helped them get to the finals last year.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, like
deal.
literally just last year.
Yes. Weird comments.
They had the whole incident where they were knocking the beer out of his hand.
Yes, and chanting. And what was the deal? Didn't he go on the road? He went and sat courtside at a road game right after it happened, and people were ragging him. I think.
Yeah.
On the road.
There was definitely something like that. I'm actually getting Patrick lined up at the moment, so we welcome him onto the show.
Okay, sounds good. PY, how you doing, my friend? I like the red. You got a little red going, red and black, little bulldogs.
Doing well. How you doing, man?
I'm
how you
well.
doing?
Hey, we were just talking about Luka and the trade and the general manager. Did you happen to read the comments of the general manager like yesterday saying, you know what? Maybe I didn't know the temperature of the room. I didn't realize how our fans really loved Luka. How can this guy say that?
I just don't know why he keeps getting in front of the media because you don't have to.
Yes.
You don't he doesn't have to, because every time he's opened his mouth, it just makes it has made him sound more incompetent.
Totally.
He needs to stop. And it's funny because as Jags fans, we wish that we could have got Trent Baalke in front of the press more often, right? We wish we could hear from him.
Yeah.
And we can't get this guy to shut up. This Nico Harrison about. I mean, it'd be hard for me to believe he's going to keep his job.
I'm with you, man. I don't like anybody getting fired. I don't try to fire anybody, but I can't see him surviving. He may survive the rest of the playoffs and all. They've got to whack him. Not so much for the trade, but those comments, man. You are detached from your fan base, and you can't be the general manager that detached from your fan. Can you?
The who was the GM? Jerry Krause? Jerry,
the Bulls? Name? Yeah, Krause, I think so. Yeah.
He wasn't very liked, but I don't know. He wouldn't have never considered. He always had this thing in his mind, apparently that the team is bigger than just one person.
Yeah,
I think that's why he's had that. It's like a strange connection he's got there with the Bulls organization. And I like that comparison for him. He, as much as he wanted to keep saying that, he would have never traded away Michael Jordan.
No,
never.
Absolutely.
He would have traded away Jordan's. He would have probably traded away their second star or their third star. But he would have never gotten rid of Michael Jordan.
No, not at all. It was just, we didn't get to it yesterday, but man, when I read his comments, man, I'm like, dude, you just fired yourself. And it wasn't because of the trade. It's those comments. He might have been able to survive the trade, the bad idea of trading Luka in his prime, but he's not going to survive these comments. I'm sure in Dallas they are burying this guy, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be ironic if they start doing the bag over the head thing. I remember reading the article. This is what's so crazy. So they fired those athletic trainer and the strength coach, and
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, last year, yeah, they did go to the finals, but this season they're the most injured team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And how ironic was it? AD's first game in that trade, he misses pretty much almost the whole year. He makes the last few games.
And
his saving grace is that they made the playoffs. They did make the playoffs.
I read that same article yesterday or this morning where not only did the general manager screw up the Luka, not only did he make the dumb comments, he fired the longtime strength conditioning guy, a couple of other guys, and that made supposedly that move was frowned upon so bad in the hierarchy of the Mavericks that Dirk Nowitzki, who's around the program, right? He's around the organization. He walked away from the organization. He goes, "That was a terrible."
He stopped going as much, being around the team involved. He stopped.
Man, does Nico Harris? I don't think he can survive this, but does he ever need Luka and the Lakers to get eliminated? He needs them to get knocked. He doesn't need them to keep winning, does he?
Oh yeah, could you imagine there too? Yeah, what if that watching them make it to the Western Conference Finals, something like that?
That would be brutal.
Did you guys happen to see this moment right here in the game? Yeah, like the exact moment that when Anthony Davis got injured. This is in the play-in game when they got eliminated. As soon as Anthony Davis got injured and airballed a three, they cut to Nico Harris in the sideline. He was side-eyeing the camera real hard.
Did you see the look on his face?
I mean, yeah, it was something Martin Scorsese would direct. It was honestly pure cinema.
He side looked him. Watch him side look you. He gave you the side look. He's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. So, Anthony Davis airballs the three.
And he's hurt. Oh, I'm not laughing at that injury.
Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And then watch this, Pat. Look. Oh, boy.
Right
it
to
just
him.
sucks. He has to keep showing his face. Like, you got to keep showing your face.
Yeah. Oh, but Patrick, you hit it. And what you said is one of the things I always point out. Before you go and say something, and it's easier said than done, what I'm about to say, ask yourself, what is to be gained by saying this? What if you're Nico Harris and you said, I didn't realize the temperature of our fan base really loved Luka. What was to be gained from that? Why say it? Like you said, Pat, why open your mouth? They don't have a gun to your head.
No, there's no gun to your head.
Did you see the look, Patrick? He's like,
he could probably say something like, I don't know. I just believe that this was the best interest for the future, and I know a lot of fans really loved and adored him, and it's probably going to be more than I could ever understand.
Yeah.
But keep saying if you're going to speak, I do what I think is the best direction for our. But yeah, I mean, to give him up after making the championship, man. I just. I don't know, man. It's a really good. But you can't look at that series and say, man, if Luka would have been more mature in that series, because there was only one game where he played great defense.
Yeah,
was engaged on that side of the floor. That's the biggest complaint because he was such a liability on the defensive end.
Yeah, I remember that well. I remember it well. Yeah, I remember it well. But what do they call that? The plus minus is pretty good when it goes on the offensive end of the court, right? I mean, he's really good.
Yeah.
Pat, let's keep this segment a little bit longer. I know you're driving, but I'll let the show off. I think it's kind of cool tomorrow. If you look at tomorrow's top of the first round, really the first half of the first round, I think 1, 2, 3, and 4 look pretty set. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Will Campbell. It looks like those are pretty set. That tells me if the first round, the Jaguars at 5, I think they control the top of the first round. Will it be calm or will it be chaos? Right? I think the Jaguars are in the spot where I think they control how wacky or how standard the first half of the first round goes.
Right.
Huh. And did you see the mock draft on ESPN? This guy, Peter Schrager, is supposed to be really connected, Patrick, really connected in the NFL. He came out with his final mock draft today, and he said, get this, Patrick, he qualified. He said, this is not my theory, Peter Schrager. This is the mock draft off of all of my sources, what I've best sourced, right? So he threw that out. At 5, he sourced Mike DeRocco. We all know Mike. And he said the Jaguars at 5, Ashton Jeanty. And he said, this is off of his sources. Is it a smokescreen, Pat? Are they playing everybody? Are the Jaguars playing the fiddle and going to be the swing pick that really shakes up the first round? I don't know.
That's wild, man. Ashton Jeanty?
And Jeanty's name has picked up a lot of smoke the last 3 or 4 days. You know, Graham's falling off the mountain. Falling off the mountain.
I just feel like if you're Jeanty, then you better be dedicated again still to the offensive line, because he can only do so much if he can't get any openings, any run like and obviously get rid of that halfback toss sweep.
You hate it, don't you? You hate it. You hate
it.
You hate it.
Sure we get rid of that.
Another thing to factor in, and I think the numbers bear it out, running backs don't have a long shelf life in the NFL. It's pretty understood.
Right.
The Derrick Henrys of the world are anomaly. If your running back doesn't have a big shelf life, if you go get Jeanty this year with a porous offensive line, how good can your offensive line be if you don't even draft at number 5 an offensive lineman? Are you prepared to give him 250 to 300 carries behind a bad line and just waste year 1 if you don't have a long shelf life as a running back anyway? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Pat. I don't know. I'm ready for the draft. It needs to get here. It's time.
Hey man, tomorrow we're at Sliders Orchard Bar. That's going to be the spot.
It should be fun.
They're having the draft party. It's going to be at Lemon Bar, and that's probably going to be slammed. Let's make sure we get there.
Yeah.
And be locked in, Terry.
I agree.
This might be the time to make sure you want to look your best.
I totally agree. Number 1, number 2.
Don't forget about your powder.
Okay, yes, definitely. We're outside, and it's getting warm outside. This doesn't affect me or you, but I'm telling you, that is a ticketed event tomorrow. You have to go on and square away a ticket if you want to go to that Jaguar party. But I've got to believe they're expecting several hundred people. Pat, I think they're going to run into some parking issues down there, man.
Oh, my gosh. Are they ever?
I think some of these townies are going to go down there and go, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not my concern. We'll be down there.
I haven't been there in a while, but do you know? Because have you ever been to Lemon Bar?
Oh, many times, yeah.
And they got between the hotel and Lemon Bar, that fence, and now that it's one owner,
parking, a little bit of parking. It's not much parking there if they open that up. And keep in mind, you got hotel guests in there. You can't tell the guests, hey, get out. I'm sorry you're paying, but get out. It's going to be. Hey, it's not our problem. We'll be parked and ready to go tomorrow at Sliders 4 to 6. Come have a draft before the draft with us. All right, Pat, if you can hang around
during.
Yeah, why not?
Not during.
Well,
I'll be having a draft during.
Yeah, the draft doesn't even start on TV till 8, and they expect the Jaguars to pick at 8:45. 8:45. That's rough.
Dang.
That is rough, isn't it? I'll be saying hi to people and leaving.
Don't you feel like at least the first 5 picks honestly should go, right off the map?
You would think.
Like whoever's at 2, they know they're not getting a quarterback.
And it might.
They don't have to worry about Cam Word.
Yeah, it might go fast. It might go faster, but they're projecting, there'll be at least 2 commercials in there somewhere, right, before the Jaguars pick. They'll come
Absolutely.
on. They'll come on, blah, 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 blah. They may go straight to the first pick at 8:05, 8:06. There's 5. They may go to the second. They'll probably go to a commercial, come back for the 3rd and the 4th, maybe go to a commercial, right? Oh, man. It's going to be interesting tomorrow. It's going to be real interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, the Braves won, but the Mets just went final. They won today as well, early game. So the Braves are still 7.5 games back already And they just went 6-4 their last 10 and have gained lost ground. They've lost ground. The Mets have gone 8-2. Boy, the Braves, that bad start's going to be hard to climb out of, man.
Yeah, it is.
Hard to climb out. All right, Pat, if you can hang around, great. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do another segment, bounce around. Then top of the hour, Dr. Aaron Bates, of course, with our Southeast Orthopedic Specialists sports medicine discussion. And then about 5:30, Brent Beard. We got a lot of stuff to talk with Brent Beard. That and a whole lot more. He's Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Stay with us right here on the Young and Norvelle Show. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, got some new information on our buddy Lee Corso as we welcome you back. He's Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Thanks for hanging out with us today, 4 to 6. We're from studio. Tomorrow, live at Sliders Oyster Bar right before the draft. Come on down. It's going to be buzzing down there at the beach, Neptune Beach. We'll be 4 to 6. Hey, Pat, more information. You know, it came out last week, I guess. Lee Corso, He's basically going to retire. He's got one more game. They're going to give him one more game on game day, one more appearance. It's going to be week 1, Saturday, August 30th, okay? And we didn't know officially where it would be. They've announced it now. It will be, his last appearance will be, how about this game? Texas at Ohio State in Columbus. So his final appearance on game day will be in Ohio State. Kurt Herbstreit's hangout area, right? He's a Buckeye. And
I disagree.
Where do you think he should be?
Army Navy.
Army Navy? Yeah. That's the end of the year, though.
That should be. He should do one beginning and one at the end. I know he's got enough. He's got enough.
I could live with
juice to do both of those. I can't not have him there at that Army Navy game. That breaks my heart.
I could live with that. But yeah, they've announced it will be Saturday. His last game day appearance will be before Texas at Ohio State. And I don't have this for sure, but I think I remember this right. In terms of his headgear, I wrote it down somewhere. He's put on like 433 headgear games. He's done like 400. The school he's picked to win the most, Ohio State. He's picked them like 140 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the headgear, Ohio State.
I wonder what his win percentage is.
I've seen it. I don't know. I can't remember. It's decent. It's decent. It's pretty decent. What about that tradition that a Hollywood writing team couldn't come up with that? It was just happenstance. It was kind of a joke, right? He made a pick and put a headgear on, and this thing grew to a monster.
Well, not only that, I mean, I think they have a story of the first person that brought a sign to a game.
Yeah, I remember.
Because we know that's a huge thing now. Like, I can't remember his first sign. It was something like it was something dumb. It's always.
I remember seeing
dumb.
that. I saw that 30 for 30. Yeah, it was interesting. And did you know there's a big history at game day? There's this long history. And they did a 30 and 30 on this. Every game day broadcast, I think everyone has had a Washington State flag in the crowd, flying prominently. Not that, and they may have done game day from Washington State once ever, but some group years ago said we want to represent, and now you bid if you're a Washington State fan. It's an honor. You are allowed to take the flag and go to a game. It's been at every game. How about Washington State? Isn't that weird?
That's weird. Yeah.
You always will see a red Washington State.
Who
flag.
figured that out?
I don't know. Hey, wait a minute. Are you smoking pot?
No.
Looked like you were blowing. Did you see that? See that, Zach? Did you see that?
I personally didn't see anything.
I saw some smoke. Are you baking? 420 was
Am
the
I
other.
baking?
Are you baking right now, Pat? 420 was the other day.
420 it? Terry, how dare you accuse me of such things on the interwebs?
I thought I saw some smoke coming out of your. No? Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I gotta check your glasses here.
I got my good ones on, man.
I got mine scratched up, man. I gotta get mine my lenses replaced.
How many pair of glasses?
The anti-scratch stuff.
How many?
Only two.
I got three.
Yeah. I probably should we probably should have like some cheaper ones, like a cheaper backup set somewhere.
Well, I've got three that I wear that are my wearing glasses. And I've got like 2 pair of old glasses that when I get home, I put those on at the house. If I don't want to, or if I go for a run or something, I don't want to put my contacts in or something. Do you wear contacts too?
I don't, but I should.
Yeah. Is your vision bad?
It's definitely gotten worse.
Yeah, I'm 20.
Whenever I don't wear my glasses and I'm watching TV, because I like having the subtitles on sometimes. Like, yeah. Oh, and by the way, the #1 movie on Netflix right now is called I Hostage. It's the stupidest. The reason it's so dumb and so bad is because they wanted to make it as close to the real event. So this really did happen.
Okay.
But it's an awful movie. What's
the premise? Do you know?
I think they were in someplace, some European country, I forgot, and this guy comes and tries to like rob an Apple store or like hold people up, and it's so pitiful. It's so pitiful. He comes into the Apple store holding this gun, whatever he has, and is like, let's just say there's 100 people in there.
Right.
No one's listening to a single thing he's saying. People are just running out of the building.
Yeah.
And then this one, maybe in real life it wasn't so dumb, but the way that they acted it out. Number one movie on Netflix right now, Terry.
So it was at an Apple store.
It sucks.
At an Apple store.
It sucks. Yeah.
Are you an iPhone guy? Are you an Apple iPhone guy?
I have one, but I'm not like crazy about it. It's just I'm loyal to it because it's what I know.
Yeah.
It's what I've had for so long.
I've never had one, and people rag on me all the time about my Android, but I still don't totally understand the whole Apple world. As I understand it, there are only a few stores geographically scattered around. They're not. The stores are hard to find. Is that right? There's only like one here.
There's not. I think it's better than what it used to be, I believe.
My question is, Apple is such a massive product. Why make your customers suffer with only a couple? I don't quite understand that. I hear people say, I went to the Apple store at the town center. I drove from Gainesville to go there. I drove from, and I had to wait 4 hours. Why punish? I don't think
Apple has in mind what's best for the customer. I think they're more so what's best to make sure things are scarce and that we have a short supply and a high demand, and there's some brilliant algorithm to do what they do, because how much do they really like do you have any? No, you're not an iPhone guy. Zach, you're an iPhone guy, right?
I am, yeah.
Can you remember going through the generations, like a huge significant, like when was there a huge significant jump from iPhone?
Not
one
really.
To where we are
they're
now?
all pretty subtle. Maybe like from 3 to 4, but even
when
then,
you mean
jump,
you mean things it can do? Is that what you mean by jump?
Well,
Functionality.
As they made new ones, yes, they got better.
Yeah.
You know, what they say is better.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's never anything.
But
huge.
absolutely.
If you look at a 14 versus a 5, you'll be like, "Wow, that's crazy. It looks way different." But yeah, like from
Zach,
5 to 6, no.
Maybe you can shed
They
light.
went big. They went really small at one point.
Yeah.
They went huge. Like it was. Yeah, we used to have buttons on the screen.
So Zach, what is the concept? You're in industry, and your product is very, very, very popular, right? All over the world, it's very popular. What is the benefit of not giving your customers an easy way to go to your store and repair or replace it? There's only a couple stores scattered around, as I understand. There aren't a lot of Apple stores.
No, there's not many.
Why? Why punish your?
Well, you want them to come to your store so they use your stuff and that you get paid for it. But you would ideally want to make it easier and more convenient to do.
I don't understand that. I'm not an Apple guy, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, actually, I mean, really, the trick is, you don't repair it. You just buy a new one. That's what they really want.
Yeah.
Don't repair it. What do you mean?
Why do they make
what are you
it
broke?
hard?
Why do you got to repair it?
But doesn't that go against business 101 almost, guys?
Yeah.
Why make your existing customer have to work harder than they want to? I mean, I hear people bitch about going to the Apple store for years. You got to get in line. You got to get a number. Some people will get a number, they tell me, and go shopping for 3 hours because their number's not going to get called for.
I mean, it kind of, they kind of suck. I mean, the reason why I use an iPhone is because, 15 years ago, whenever it was, when I got my first phone from my parents, it happened to be an iPhone. And so it was what I was used to. And so now whenever I get my own phone, I just always get an iPhone. And that's just what I get. It's just what I got integrated into. I would like the Samsung better. I don't know. But I'm so into their world now.
Yeah, it's possible.
Apple has me.
I know.
They have me in their garden,
Do they?
I got the MacBook.
I'm surrounded by their walls.
Can't get out of it?
Yeah.
No, I'm locked with them. Forever.
If Apple made a great video game system, I guarantee you Zach and I would get it.
It'd probably be nice. Probably be cool. I don't have Apple, what's it called? The streaming service, though. There's some cool shows.
Oh, Apple Plus is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have
Apple
that.
Plus is pretty. They got some good shows.
Yeah, they got the Severance. They got this thing with Seth Rogen that looks pretty cool, but I don't know.
Man, C with Jason Momoa. That was really original. that crap was great.
Yeah,
I fell in love with him as an actor. He became one of my favorite actors from that, not from the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy stuff.
Mermaid
That's so
Man.
disrespectful.
Mermaid Man, what?
That's SpongeBob.
That's so disrespectful.
Hey, so
I know.
Shouldn't we? Is there a point where we need to rename, like your iPhone?
Aquaman.
You guys' iPhone.
Mm.
The word phone doesn't seem to be the right description anymore.
No, it's like miniature computer.
Yeah, and what in the sports world, PED, what does that stand for? Performance enhancing drug.
Yeah.
Drug.
Shouldn't we start calling like our phones not phones anymore, PED, personal entertainment devices, more apt, right?
All right.
Right.
Calling those things, even my Android, as old, calling this a phone is almost like, I mean, it's a calendar, it's a calculator, it's a texting. We need to change, right? Phone's too antiquated now.
Probably.
I say we change it to PED.
I agree.
What do you okay.
Personal entertainment. Because isn't that what it is? It's a communication tool, but it's probably way more percentage entertainment than communication for the user.
I mean, what you're saying is right, and I do think that's a clever acronym. I think the problem is it's already associated with the other stuff, the cheating with the steroids.
I tell you, though, this is an age thing, definitely. I can't fathom how these young people, and you'll fall into that, watching a movie on your phone, this tiny little screen, and you're moving, you're moving, and you got to move it. I don't know how you guys do that, man.
That's me.
That's whole movie, man. I don't know if I can go there.
But you see people watching movies and shows like crazy on their
shows.
phone.
I can definitely like a podcast, like video type form. I can definitely do. Yeah, a whole movie's tough.
It's
like,
just so easy to have it like you can get comfortable on your side, set your phone up, just.
I'll tell you another thing.
It's a terrible habit. It's a terrible habit. But
I'll tell you another thing that this never happens to me, but out in public, it drives people crazy because I don't use my phone for like watching 4 shows in a row. I never am running around out in public with my hair on fire because my phone's dying. My phone never dies. You'll have these people, they have to charge their phone every 2 hours because they're using it. You know what I mean? They're draining it. I'm like, dude, I never run around with my hair on fire. My phone never dies.
Yeah, that's fair.
My phone's dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you queued Patrick's phone.
I just killed Pat's phone.
Battery going out. Yeah, I think we've we may have.
Yeah, we
have audio.
His phone died.
May have audio.
His phone died.
We're back.
Pat, your phone died. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we manifested.
I had to plug it in.
Yeah.
Isn't that
right on time?
You guys know what I'm talking about. I'll see guys out in public, friends or whatever, or just people at the store or whatever, and they're, oh God, I got to find a plug. I'm like, how do you drain your phone? You just left the house 2 hours ago,
Yeah, when I was at my apartment complex in college, we had like an electric power outlet. And I can remember just constantly just being like 12, 14 phone chargers in it, like all the time, and like fully just like all of it. Yeah, I mean, and it's because the people are constantly on the phone. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, as you say, the phone battery, it actually will not go down if you don't use it. It actually will stay charged for a really long time.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, I found an iPad in the laundry room that hadn't been turned on in several months and still has some charge.
Yeah.
Does your phone give you a screen usage time report?
I think it does.
Or screen time usage?
It does? I'd have to look hard, but I've seen it before. I'd have to find it. I've had to find it. What about it?
Man, when you hit, it shows you your weekly average. It hurts.
Oh yeah, and you go, why am I on this damn thing?
But like for me, because I watch a good amount of shows sometimes just on my phone, that's why my number was higher than I would.
When I was doing DoorDash, I had an average of 10 hours a day at 1 week at one point.
10 hours.
Well, I mean, it was literally constantly on while I was doing that.
10 a day? Oh my God.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, if I was doing DoorDash, it was literally on the whole time because I'm either looking at the map or
on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing.
Something.
One thing I use.
Man, your phone was so hot.
I had to keep the AC on. Yeah.
Pat, one thing I use my phone a lot more for, and I can give you credit for it, is Chat GPT I use that a lot, and I now use that as my Siri. I ask, it's my own fact finder. That chat, I can sit there and ask it anything, and I'll say, you know, how many bowl games did the SEC win in 1960s? And it's my own personal Siri, Pat. Did you know, when you told me that, did you know it worked like that?
Yeah.
Man, it's something.
I'm so glad that you explored a little bit.
Yeah, and I had to buy
there's so much more. There is so much more you can do with it.
Is that with ChatGPT? Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling. Well, I actually just started using it a few weeks ago. I had been kind of pushing it off, and I'm using it as like
an
a
editor.
book, as the book editor. Yeah, and I've been hitting my limit usually several times a day, every day. But it's crazy how it can pick up on things. Like it picks up on a character continuity within the book, and when I told it about the concept of potentially an artificial intelligence becoming an omnipotent being, it got very fascinated. It was like, that's a really good idea.
You're talking
I really
to me.
like that.
You're talking to them.
I think that might be. It said you're not even writing sci-fi. This is soon-fi.
Hey guys,
as in it will happen.
Here's a little sports.
A little spooky, man.
Here's a little sports spinoff about the ChatGPT. Yesterday, we
that
didn't
is spooky.
we didn't get to this yesterday. But there was speaking of ChatGPT and where it's going in the future, and it may have to be regulated a little bit. There was it was like a Formula One, like a racing newsletter or racing newspaper, and it was over in Europe somewhere, and the editor got fired because he had an entire article ChatGPT, and they're like, no. Yeah.
So that's gonna happen.
So there's some of this real. Wait a minute, are you a writer, or are you just talking to ChatGPT? And he passed it off as his own article, and they fired his ass.
I mean, I think that there's going to be people writing articles with ChatGPT, and then people are going to be not even reading the article. They're going to be filtering it through ChatGPT to just get the footnotes of it, and they're just going to just read what ChatGPT spits out of the summary.
Pat, I'm glad you turned me on to it. And I had to buy a little. I ended up buying something where I can unlimited or something. And it's not very expensive at all. It's not very expensive.
I think I'm almost there where I need to do that
Pat, when you turned me on to it, it would not let me go too far. It wouldn't let me ask all day, or And then I said, well, hell, it's only $5. So I bought the next level, and dude, it's my Siri. I swear to you, man, it's cool. It's my research guy.
Look at old man Terry turning back the clock.
Go Terry. Yeah, I'm really
look at him.
I'm really close to turning in my cassette tapes too, and my CDs. I'm gonna turn them in, I think. Yeah. I'm getting modern. I'm getting modern, baby. I'm getting modern.
You still have those?
No, I'm just kidding. Our little show rundown that we put out, and post. I do it every morning. I write out the show rundown, 6 or 7 topics, and then I dictate them into ChatGPT. Right? I hit the speaker and I say, please organize in a sports show rundown format with sports emojis. Jaguars control first round calm or chaos. Braves lose 7th in a row. And then it'll come back with it written much better. You know what I mean? And then I post that because it's in
with the little emojis and everything.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. Hey, man, progress. I
think it's either going to be Abdul Carter or they're going to trade.
Technology.
I kind of missed that conversation, my bad. But I think it's going to be they're either going to take Abdul Carter, the defensive end, or they're going to trade.
The Jaguars?
Yeah, I think so.
He'll be available at 5?
Well, I think that he may go to the Patriots, but if he is there, that's who they take, and it's either going to be that or they're going to trade out. I don't think they want anybody else.
Patrick and I talked. Zach, what are your thoughts? Isn't it cool? I think it's kind of cool. I think the Jaguars, if the top 4 go as expected, I think the Jaguars control the top of the first round. Will it be calm or chaos? If they just sit there and take a pick, if they trade out of there,
we have no idea who's taking Travis Hunter, right? No inclinations there.
They think number 2.
I kind of think that
right now the prevailing top 4.
2 to who?
Cleveland.
New England.
No, New England's 4. Cleveland. I
The
think.
Cleveland, my bad. Yeah, you're
Cleveland.
right. Yeah, the Browns.
The prevailing top 4 right now, I think, if you did a pool, Cam
Dang,
Ward.
I hate for him to go to Cleveland.
I know. Right now,
That is tough.
the prevailing top 4 are Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Will Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that goes to script, the Jaguars, if they trade out of 5, the Jaguars are the team that will start the chaos. If they just go, if they just make a pick, they could turn the first round into chaos.
I can see them trading with the Raiders. I can see the Raiders trying to move up to make sure they get Jeanty.
And they're right behind the Jaguars, right?
Yeah, they're not.
So
I think they're 8 or 9, something like that.
No, I think they're right behind.
Oh, they're
the Jaguars.
directly behind.
Now
that might stay put.
The fact that they're directly behind.
But someone might try to jump them.
Yes, but
The Cowboys are 10. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
let me finish.
Do the
this.
Cowboys have anything that we would want?
That's the question. You got to want a proven offensive lineman, wouldn't you?
Because the Cowboys need a running back. They
But
do.
if the Raiders are right behind the Jaguars, and it's been speculated the Raiders really want Jeanty, but they're right behind the Jaguars, that would explain why the Jaguars are sending up so much Jeanty smoke. They call the Raiders and go, hey, man, I know you want this guy, but we're probably going to take him unless you can package us something really nice. That would explain why they're sending smoke up.
Yeah, because I don't think these analytical, offensive-minded young guys are trying to get a running back with their 5th overall pick. So that makes sense as why they would be doing that. Yeah, I can see the Cowboys sitting at 12 trying to make a package to get above the Raiders at 6 to get
We're going to
Jeanty.
do something, man. I just feel like Gladstone's going to do something. I got a feeling, man. I got to.
Hey, as long as
we're going to just sit, we're going to be like, okay, all right.
Y'all remember this night? Y'all remember this night? The Jacksonville Jaguars, with their first-round selection, pick Tyson Alu. And people were like, who? And that was the Tebow year, right? The city was sitting on pins and needles going, Tebow. And I'll never forget, there was a stunned silence, not because it was just not Tim Tebow, but it was, you're like, what kind of, who was this person? Tyson Alu. Remember that? That was hilarious.
Yeah, it could be worse potentially, but yeah, I mean, I think the most exciting thing for the Jaguars would be either Abdul Carter or you make a big trade with the Bears or the Cowboys, and they trade up to get Jeanty, and then you kind of get a big haul.
Jaguars ever drop a ball on that one? Sorry.
With which one, Patrick? Which one? What's
Not
that?
drafting Tebow.
Yeah. You look at guys like Tim Tebow.
I think they were okay not drafting Tebow.
Tim Tebow and Johnny
I'm
Manziel.
thinking of like the just the impact of the fan base and how much I'm thinking that kind of big picture thing. More so.
That's true.
Yeah. Tyson Alu. I'm watching that night, like the whole city, and it got silent for about 3 seconds. You could feel everybody going, who? Tyson who? He didn't just say Tim Tebow. He said Tyson Alu. What was that? And remember,
how long did he stay in the?
Zach, he was here. What, 3 or 4 years? Average player, went somewhere, bumped around in the league, right? Bumped around in the league for.
No, I feel like he's had a decent. I think he's still.
You want
playing.
me to ask Chat GPT?
I think he's literally on the Steelers right now.
You want me to ask Chat GPT?
I mean, he's had a far better career than Tim Tebow.
Oh, of course, yeah, but I mean, he was not I can't remember where he went.
Oh man, college? I don't know.
What pick he went? He went to California, I think.
Yeah, from Cal.
Hold on 1 second. Is Tyson Alu still in the league? They don't even have that. They don't even know what I'm saying.
No, he was last with the Lions in 2023.
Okay, yeah. So he had a very average.
He was 10th overall.
Yeah.
So whereas Tebow was taken, I believe, at the back end.
22, 23.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Can you clarify what you're asking about Tyson Alu? Are you wondering if he's still active? What team is he on? God, this thing is incredible. This thing is freaking incredible. All right, let's take a break. We got Dr. Bates, a lot of stuff to ask him about. Spencer Strider, the Braves starter, got one game in. He was playing catch and strained his hammy. Oh, we got some injuries to talk about with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the other side. Stay with us, folks. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Around the top of the 5 o'clock hour, that means it is time to talk some sports medicine, some injuries. Unfortunately, injuries are part of sports. We dive into it every Wednesday with Dr. Aaron Bates, our buddy from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and we've got some stuff to fire Doc's way. A lot of baseball injuries, which is pretty common. I mean, baseball, you play so many games. But I want to get into some elements that I think cause baseball injuries. Doc, welcome to the show. We've talked hamstring injuries a million times, right? I mean, obviously, the hamstring. Doc, go over. Spencer Strider had one game. He was throwing the baseball in practice, and he strained his hamstring again. I'm assuming he was doing long toss instead of just playing catch. But the hammy again, he's got a nasty strain. Explain, Doc, what makes the hamstring so temperamental? It seems like it's so temperamental.
Well, it's one of the largest muscle groups in your body. So your quads and your hams are the largest.
Okay.
And if you've had some history of hamstring strains, that can predispose you to more strains.
Man.
He had been rehabbing his elbow? No, his knee.
Yeah.
His knee or his elbow? I can't remember.
I think he had an elbow.
Yeah, his elbow. Over the past year. And so obviously he's doing all the right things for it. But sometimes you can overdo it.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of a freak thing. Just long toss.
Yeah.
May have hit it a certain angle that caused the hamstring to get strained.
And would you assume he's right-handed, so it's the push-off leg that he would strain,
Yes.
not the land leg?
Yep. Correct.
Wow. But yeah, I know we talk hammies a lot, but they're so temperamental, it seems like to me. And it's the size of the muscle, so what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah. What is the area that, if you said the hammy runs from the lower gluteus, where is the range of running that muscle runs?
So typically the hamstring muscles / tendons attach from the bone you sit on called the ischial tuberosity, and it runs from that bone becomes tendon, then becomes muscle, then it becomes tendon again, and the tendons attach on the tibia, just on the other side of the knee joint.
Yeah. When I think of
hamstrings, they're not only flexion of the extension of the hip, but it's also flexor of the knee because it crosses two joints.
When I think of hamstring, I think the back of the knee, that little space where it bends the back of the knee. Mm-hmm. But it goes higher and lower. Or does it go down into the calf, near the calf, or no?
It crosses the calf muscle because the calf comes up and attaches on the femur. But the hamstring actually touches on the tibia, on the opposite side of the knee joint.
Gotcha. Yeah, what a shame, man. He's on the IL, Strider. He only had one game. He pitched decent, and he was they said just playing catch. Like I said, I'm assuming it was a long toss, but goodness gracious. Doc, another personal note. What is I've got, not constantly, and it's not pain, tingling down my arm. It'll tingle. Well, any idea what might be causing that? And it just flares up and goes away. It's not painful. But tingling down your limb, your arm. Any idea what that could be?
Well, the bad things we think about are things that stem from your cervical spine. Like if you have a pinched nerve, one of the exiting nerve roots.
Yeah.
From the cervical spine that causes tingling all the way down to the hands or fingers.
Yeah.
But you can have it just with muscle spasm and things like that.
Yeah. When you have if you've got a pinched nerve in like the shoulder area, could you get lucky just through movement and unpinch it? Because a lot of times I'll move around. You know what I mean? I know it sounds stupid, but could you just, maybe if I move the right way, it'll unimpinge it? I don't know. Is that crazy?
Well, it's based on a muscle spasm, and you let that muscle relax, and it doesn't spasm anymore, then you don't have that issue.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, I get that tingling the last couple of weeks. Just random, not long. But just, it's weird. And obviously something, that is not normal, so it's alerting you to something, right? I mean, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's alerting me to something. McCaffrey, the great running back, supposedly he's made a nice recovery. One of the things he had last year, and I don't remember this phraseology that we've talked about on this show, this segment, bilateral Achilles tendonitis. I remember we talked about Achilles tendonitis, but the word bilateral was now thrown in. I don't know what is that? What are they saying by bilateral Achilles tendonitis?
They're just talking about both of his feet. Both of his Achilles tendons have been affected. And I remember we talked about him going over to Europe or somewhere to get some type of treatment.
Yes, I remember that as well.
And we didn't know what treatment was, but
supposedly he's good. Supposedly he's good to go. But bilateral tendonitis, I know we asked about this, but I wanted to review it again. If you've got Achilles tendonitis, is that a warning sign that you're close to tearing, Achilles tear, or no?
No, not really. Because Achilles tendonitis is more of an overuse type of thing. It's not really an acute injury. And so there's really no relationship from an inflamed Achilles tendonitis and Achilles tendon tear.
Gotcha. So that's not, interesting. Boy, he's been banged up a lot in his career. When he's good, but he has been banged up
really
a lot.
Good.
I thought there was an interesting injury in baseball, and man, I know it's every year. But baseball, you're going to have you play a lot of games. Baseball, you play 162 games. Basketball, you're going to have a lot of injuries. You play 82 games. So you play, I get that, but man, there's a lot of injuries in baseball right now, all over the place. Giancarlo Stanton, the big power hitter for the Yankees, in and out of the lineup the last couple of years. This is unique, Doc, and I just want you to comment on it. He is suffering from tennis elbow in both elbows. And, he doesn't really play the field anymore, so it's not really a throwing situation. So how odd is that? And is it just from swinging a bat, and he got both tennis elbows?
Well, it's probably more than that. He's a big guy, works out a lot.
Yeah, you think
that's
it's
probably another overuse type of thing.
Okay,
Bench pressing or whatever he's doing.
So this could be a workout situation more than just swinging a bat.
Yes.
But is it odd to have both elbows with tendonitis?
It is, and that's why I think it's more of a workout thing. If it was just his lead arm or his lead elbow, then I would think, it would just be a swinging a bat type of thing.
Yeah, so you think, and I remember sending you some notes this morning, I think it was. I was asking, is that swinging a bat, or is that him in the weight room too much, getting tennis elbow in both elbows, man?
Right.
Oh, I've had that one time, and man, it's right. Tennis elbow is right in there, right? And it's tender.
Well, that's golfer's elbow.
Oh, golfer's elbow.
Yeah, golfer's elbow is on the inside. Tennis elbow is on the outside.
Okay, yeah, that I've gotten that one years ago, and it was tender, man. Real tender.
It can be, and it can last for a long time.
Yeah, and you just have to quit playing is number one, right? You got to take time off.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to quit the inciting incident that's causing the pain.
Yeah.
And then rehab it, take some anti-inflammatory, stretch that area.
Ooh, I remember having that. It was real painful. Doc, I wanted to talk about, obviously, you're going to have a lot of, baseball's a 6-month season, 162 games. You've got 30 franchise. I mean, there's a lot of baseball players, and they stay injured. But I got thinking, okay, basketball, NBA guys, they play 82 games. That's a lot of games, too. But you look at the elements that are involved, just baseball versus basketball. I think there are some inherent, of course you're going to get injured. Number one, think about the playing field, a baseball field. Think about a basketball court or even a football field. Basketball court, flat as can be. It has to be flat. You can't have football field. If you've got a hole or two, they're filling it. You want a football turf perfectly flat. Think about what baseball guys are dealing with. Different types of surfaces. You go from grass to clay. You may go from turf to clay. You've got a mound. Imagine putting a mound in the middle of a basketball court, right? A hump. Right? Bases.
Right,
you got
nobody's
bases.
really running over the mound, though.
I don't know.
You're just coming off the mound.
No,
I guess they could.
You got fly balls, and these guys are running. You got bases you're told to hit. I mean,
that's an issue.
You got a wall in play. The outfield wall is in play. The foul walls are in play. Baseball's got a lot of things. I mean, you got 3 damn bases poking up that you're supposed to, right? You're supposed to run as fast as you can and hit something that is not flat. There's a lot of reasons baseball has injury, I think.
There is, and that brings up a memory that I had. It was years ago. I think it was a second baseman shortstop. I can't remember his name. He was rounded in second and dislocated his ankle, right? A fracture dislocation or something like that. Started with A. I can't remember them, but it was pretty gruesome.
Yeah, but if you really think about all the things that a baseball player does, hell, you've got a lot of the games are outside. Basketball's inside, controlled environment, controlled temperature. Hell, the first quarter of a baseball season and the last quarter, the World Series area, playoffs, the 2 first quarters of the season, those northern teams, how about the temperature variation? They'll have a game starting at 60 degrees, tonight in Boston, and it'll end at 34 degrees.
Right.
The
That's
first
the same in October.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The back quarter of the season and the first quarter of the baseball season, you get these wild temperature changes. But you think about a baseball field, all the impending injuries that are part of the field. A mound, 3 bases, a wall, different. I mean, the last thing you want somebody doing is running on 2 different surfaces, do you? I mean, clay, grass.
Or running into a fence.
Or running into a wall. Yeah. I just want to make you think today, Doc. Just think about that, huh? Think about that. How you doing? How's your injury coming along?
It's coming along great. Just started to chip and putt a little bit.
Oh, nice.
It feels pretty good, yeah.
Do you have a home course you play at, or do you bounce around? I
kind of bounce around. I'm a member over at Ponte Vedra Club, but I live in Eagle Harbor.
Okay, good. When you're healthy, do you play a lot of golf?
Not as much as I should to try to get better.
Yeah, with your schedule, that's probably got to be tough. Are you a weekend guy, or do you try and sneak out a weekday kind of? Weekend's tough. Weekend golf's tough, man.
Weekend is really tough. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, unless you
afternoon, that's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in the game, and I remember years ago when I played a lot, man, it got to the point where if my group wanted to play on the weekend, man, I wanted to be the first group out, man. Just, first or second group out just to get.
It's an all-day affair.
Yeah, because, and how about summertime? You're out there. It's a grind on a weekend. It's 150 degrees. You're like, is this fun? But no, weekend golf, you need to be the first 2 or 3 groups out, man, and be done with it. All right, Doc, good stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff we had to cover. We'll get back together next Wednesday. Draft tomorrow. Jaguars, you think they go status quo? Do they shake it up? What are your thoughts? Anything? Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, if you have any type of outlook for the Jazz that's positive, or assuming the Jags that's positive, typically you're going to be disappointed because it seems to be disappointed every year.
Yeah, I do think that if the first half of the first round tomorrow, I think the Jaguars control, will it be a calm first round or chaotic? If they go sitting there at number 5, if they work a trade, they could bump the apple cart. They could get crazy. Or
they could. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, they could. They have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, because it feels like the first 4 picks are pretty set. And if things get squirrely, the Jaguars would be the pick that would start things getting squirrely. It'll be fun tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Doc, thank you so much. I know you're busy. We appreciate it. We'll get back together next Wednesday with some more sports medicine discussion with Dr. Aaron Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. We appreciate that. Remember, se-ortho.com, se-ortho.com. The website shows you where the locations are at, the immediate walk-in, no appointment necessary. Man, they really have it down to a science. They know what they're doing. They're the best in the business. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. We'll take a break, come back. We're closing in on 5:30. We'll welcome Brent Beard and talk some college ball with our buddy Brent Beard coming up at the bottom of the hour. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. That hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Thank goodness, I think I speak for almost everybody in the world, no matter how big an NFL fan you are. Thank God the draft is going to finally happen. My goodness gracious. Tomorrow, day 1, 3 days of the NFL draft kicks off at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We hope you come by and say hi. If you're in the Neptune Beach area, and planning on, or just kind of hanging out, but if you're planning on going to that Jaguar ticketed official draft party at Lemon Bar, we're 1 block away tomorrow. We do our show every Thursday at Sliders Oyster Bar, 1 block from the Lemon Bar. We're there live 4 to 6. And, of course, the draft really doesn't get started until 8. So I think Patrick will be on hand tomorrow, and we'll probably hang out after the show, I would imagine, for a while. So come down, have a draft before the draft with the Young and Norvelle show at Sliders Oyster Bar tomorrow. We're waiting on Brent Beard. We'll catch up with Brent and go over some college football and basketball news and notes. Zach, I wanted to pull a little what-if kind of thing, and I introduced this, I guess, a day or so ago. What's today, Wednesday? Might have been Monday, and you weren't here. I want to get your thoughts. The Jaguars' first ever draft was 1995. Their first ever draft choice was the second pick in the 95 draft. They selected basically what everybody considered a can't-miss left tackle, Tony Baselli. Had a great career. He's in the Hall of Fame. Wish it was a little bit longer, but he had a little bit of an injury situation. 1995, the first pick that year was not Carolina. Carolina and Jacksonville, the 2 expansions, were supposed to have the first and second picks in each round, right? First 2 and last 2, first 2, last, blah, blah. Well, there was a coin flip. Jacksonville won a coin flip, and with the coin flip, they got to determine did they want the first overall pick or more advantageous picks the rest of the way. They took more advantageous picks the rest of the way. So Carolina not winning the coin flip, they went 3rd. The first pick in the 95 draft went to the team with the worst record the previous year, which was the Cincinnati Bengals. Long-winded setup to tell you, how different is this entire Jacksonville franchise if in 1995, with the first pick overall of the 1995 NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals did not select running back Kijana Carter? What if Cincinnati took Tony Baselli? What if Cincinnati said, you know what? a cornerstone left tackle. He's a Baselli was considered about a can't miss, right? I mean, he was a great player coming out of USC. Yeah. How different is this franchise if Tony Baselli was selected 1 by the Bengals and he never came here? And he never was on the radio here, and he never was a Hall of Famer here, and he never was a executive with the team here. How different, man.
I mean, it would be unfathomably different, especially for a franchise that struggles both getting offensive linemen and just structurally just sound, just solid players, consistent players you can count on for a decade plus. So they just don't have those.
Yeah.
But their first ever pick was one of those. So, I mean, I can only imagine just how much they wouldn't have gone to that AFC Championship that second year.
You wouldn't think. Now, the Panthers went third. And they went quarterback route. They took Kerry Collins. Was it Kerry Collins? Was that name the Penn State guy?
Yeah, I see him going fifth. Yeah. But Kerry Collins.
Didn't he go third? I think I thought he.
I see Steve McNair going third. I guess that was the Titans. I don't really see the team.
No, I think you're the wrong year.
No, the thing that's weird is there's no logo besides Steve McNair. I see Steve McNair going, I bet it's because he really got drafted by the Oilers, and the Oilers no longer exist.
Okay, maybe something like that.
Yeah, and I see Michael Westbrook, Colorado wide receiver, going to a team that also doesn't have a logo.
Interesting, might be, but how different if the Cincinnati Bengals front office said, hey, man, we got to build lines of scrimmage. This guy's a can't miss. We select with the first pick. Tony Baselli.
God, it'd be completely different. The Bengals, they may have gone on a run when they had, the thing is, they may have, the whole thing would have been different. I was about to say they could have gone on a better run when they had Carson Palmer and protected him, but then maybe they would have never drafted Carson Palmer.
Way back, I remember this year vividly, Kejana Carter coming out of Penn State, the running back, was he was Jeanty-like. I mean, he was big, thick thighs. He was but he blew his knee out multiple times.
Yeah, I've never heard his name outside of this conversation.
Yeah, was a really didn't win the Heisman, but was way up. Really good. I mean, really good player at Penn State, and obviously went first. He might have had a college knee injury, but in the NFL, I think he had at least two major.
I see 3 big injuries.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. I know he had at least
back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, he couldn't stay healthy. But they took him 1, Baselli 2. What if it was different? How weird would that be?
Oh, God, yeah, everything would be completely different. It'd be a huge butterfly effect. And, the reason why there was no logo for the 4th team, it was the Washington Redskins, who no longer exist.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I see the Panthers getting 5th. They must have really got screwed in their coin toss.
Yeah, something. Boy, I thought they went 3rd.
I mean, that would make sense.
But it's Kerry Collins, right, the quarterback?
Kerry Collins was the pick from Penn State, yeah.
Yeah.
Kerry Collins was the pick. And then Kevin Carter from Florida went to the Rams after that.
How about that? And I think the NFL, obviously there was an expansion draft, right? The 2 teams got to pick expansion players. So that happened before. And the Jaguars, their first pick might have been Steve Berline, kind of a backup quarterback. They needed a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And then they worked a trade, I guess. Year 2, or year 1 or 2, they traded for Mark Brunell. Brunell was on the Green Bay Packers, I think, was bench and wasn't doing anything. But supposedly Coughlin saw something in this left-handed quarterback from Washington, University of Washington, and they went and got him. And they also stumbled on to Jimmy Smith. He was a free agent, had done nothing in the league, to speak of. And what was he with Dallas, I guess? And he was available as a free agent. I don't think they thought he was going to be what he did, because he was just kind of languishing. Didn't Jimmy have some kind of abdominal surgery or something too that slowed him down? I think.
Probably. I would imagine all these guys that were in this draft have cast away for some reason like that. I can't imagine how they would handle, how the media, like ESPN, they would have to full broadcast if they did an expansion draft today with 2 brand new teams. It'd be pandemonium.
And if I remember correctly,
Bill Goldberg,
former Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, he was the Panthers, the 3rd from the last pick in the expansion draft.
How about that?
Yeah, that's fun.
Decent college player at Georgia. He's the big wrestler, right? Yeah,
decent player. Yeah, Goldberg, the wrestler, yeah.
Yeah, decent player. Yeah. I think Goldberg was way better than Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Well, he was the WCW. He was almost like the WCW's version of the Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kind of like he was like their answer for that.
Oh my, the Rattlesnake!
Yeah, I was ready for that.
Holy cow!
But as I am lining up
Brent
our expert for college football, Brent Beard.
And Brent can help us out. I
King
think I'm
Cat.
speaking correctly here. I think Bill Goldberg, defensive lineman at Georgia, way back in the early 90s, I think Goldberg had a much better college football career than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Johnson was kind of a bit player, wasn't he? As we welcome Brent Beard. Hey, buddy.
Hey, bud. Yeah, I think you're right. Gino says hello, too.
Hey,
by the
Gino.
way. But, yes, Goldberg is revered, frankly, in the South. So, yes, I would say much more than The Rock, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Brent Beard, couple things to get to. Number one, hey, the Rose Bowl finally did something smart and nice, and they finally thought about the whole instead of just themselves. Talk about what the Rose Bowl did. I think it's a big deal.
Well, what the Rose Bowl did is it's starting an hour earlier, which instead of 5:03 or something, it's 4 o'clock. So now look, that is for the Rose Bowl people. That is well, it's just an hour. Yeah, but that's a mammoth change for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a mammoth change for them because they would not budge on that for years because you know we had to see the sunset on the San Gabriel Mountains. In a titanic struggle between Iowa and UCLA, or something of that ilk that no one really cared for. I'm still not convinced that the parade is not more important to them than the game.
Yeah, could be. But for people that don't know, over the years, over the decades, the Rose Bowl, they wanted to be January 1st at 5 o'clock, which is their traditional spot. I get all that, Brent, you get it. But as college football has slowly matured, the season got longer. January 1 wasn't the end-all, be-all date, right?
Yeah.
But the Rose Bowl was so stubborn, and they almost worked independently of the great game of college football, right? The Rose Bowl was almost like they got a lot of favors like Notre Dame does.
Yeah.
And it might not be for the good of the whole of college football, but I think that's a big deal. Now you'll have that quarterfinal day. You'll have noon, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. Nothing will be that second game. That third game won't be starting at 8:45. I think that's a big deal.
Well, what people have probably not seen yet is the Orange Bowl starts at noon.
Noon, yes.
Now, when in the world would we ever thought the Orange Bowl would be at noon? The Orange Bowl usually started at 8:30.
Yeah.
And the Orange Bowl has that minimum of 30-minute halftime show.
Yeah.
If it's not longer than that, so that thought that was unusual. Here's the trouble with the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl was always symbolic of Jim Delaney blocking having any kind of a playoff system.
Yeah,
and that's why people really never cared, or they really, I think they cared about the game. I don't think they liked because of impeding progress for the playoffs. But when Delaney was there, but I mean, toward the end of his tenure, some of that changed, thankfully.
Yeah.
But that's something we can never forget. I was out there in 2009 for the Alabama-Texas BCS National Championship game. Look, if people have never been to the Rose Bowl, they owe it to themselves to go.
Yeah.
Now you need to be aware. Folks who go out there need to be aware that is not your state-of-the-art stadium.
Nope.
It is a long time. Now, some people call it a dump. I'm not going that far with it.
Okay.
Any stretch. But still, and there are a lot of people who think we ought to have the national championship game every year in the Rose Bowl. I don't. that's never going to happen because
Yeah.
you've got too many of these other bowls who are going to bid, and the Rose Bowl's not going to win that every year.
And it would, and that stadium couldn't command the dollars. I mean, obviously, I jumped the fence in the '90s and walked all around the Rose Bowl without a game going on. I was in California, and we drove to Pasadena. We drove to Dodger Stadium as well. But no, I mean, that thing doesn't have the bells and whistles that would command big money from the. But going back, when college football, it's as we could tell right now, getting college football to a playoff format was a monumental issue, and it was a big boulder to lift.
Yes.
One of the reasons the boulder never got lifted was the Rose Bowl was also going to be this huge boulder to lift because they were so stubborn in their ways. They never played along, and I think people said, "Man, those are two huge bites to bite off, man." So good for the Rose Bowl, and I do think that's a big deal. I think the Rose Bowl, when it started at 5, that end of the day game you either had to miss some of it, or you kicked it off at 8:45, and I think there is a big difference between 8 on Eastern time or 8:45 p.m. on Eastern time.
Well, sure it is. Well, and the other thing is you've got and in the past you had a Rose Bowl that for lack of a better word was meaningless.
Yeah.
And it was holding up the playoff game that was coming on after it was over.
Yeah, I remember that. Obviously the two teams got there, and that's an accomplishment. But yeah, you would have it wasn't odd to have number 8 versus number 10. Two loss Ohio back in the old days. 2-loss Ohio State versus 2-loss UCLA.
That's what I mean. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you're like, oh, okay. Hey, switching topics, and you may have a couple to get to as well here with Brent Beard on a Wednesday. The news about Corso having his final swan song with Game Day, that came out a couple days ago. We know he will make his final appearance on Week 1, Saturday morning, August 30th. We did not know until today. I think it just came out today. We now know the game. It will be Texas at Ohio State. Right. So his final appearance will be in Columbus, and that's kind of apropos. I mean, I think the Buckeye headgear he put on more than any headgear. He picked Ohio State like 100 and something times.
Yeah.
So he a bunch of times. And that's probably the game. I heard some people. Dan Cannell was acting stupid. He should be in Tallahassee for Alabama FSU.
Yeah.
No, you don't send Corso out on the heels of a 2-10 team, right? That's a huge game.
It is. It really is. I mean, that's a game that everybody is already looking forward to. Frankly, rematch from last year.
Yeah.
And it would go a ways in determining, playoff potential, but the loser will still have that game on their schedule, meaning that they would get credit for it.
Yeah.
Now, if Florida State was better,
I
could see doing a Florida State Alabama game, but frankly, no, that's logically the best game for him to be at, and that there'll be some emotion there, I'm sure, without a doubt. But I'm Terry. I'm just glad, and these parting of the ways don't always go very smoothly. But I'm glad they're giving him his moment now. As only ESPN can, Terry. When will they start the build up for that?
Oh my goodness!
July the 4th, maybe.
Oh my goodness! And I get it that Corso coached at Florida State, but that was a minuscule amount of time 100 years ago. Yeah. And this is Texas Ohio State is a massive, the biggest game probably in. Depending on how it plays out, could be the biggest game of the year, but certainly in the first several weeks, it's the monster. I don't think there's any doubt that Lee Corso will put on the Buckeye headgear that final time. You'll have the defending national champions playing at home. He's sitting next to his buddy Herb Street. in Columbus. And again, I think he's put the Buckeye headgear on more than any other school, more than any other school.
Well, yeah, I can see that. And, as we touched on the other day, I will be interested to see how long this group stays together. I think Desmond may be the next one that is out. That's hard to say, frankly, but of course, Reese Davis just re-upped with them.
Yeah.
Nick Saban has been tremendous and will continue to be along that line too. So, but Lee will be missed. But Terry, you and I have talked about this now for 2 years. You could tell that it was getting almost painful.
It was a hard watch
in some way, and you felt for Lee and what he was trying to do and what he was trying to say. They would kind of he'd be on, then he'd be off the set. So, I just wonder now, are they going to replace him, or are they just basically going to stay with the rest of these guys? I've heard nothing about. No one's going to do the helmet thing. That will be retired, I would guess. But I'm just wondering if they add someone else to the lineup.
If they ask me, I would say go with 4. Yeah, I wouldn't force that 5th. I may disagree a little bit. I think they may try to keep the headgear somehow. I could see them. I don't think they're going to give it to one person. I could see them bringing in a guest headgear at the end of each show, almost. And I don't watch the show, but I know the premise. What is that? What is that show? The Masked Singer. I could see them do something. They come back, that final 5-minute segment. It's time to do the picks. All right, and they get to the biggest game. I could see them walk out already with the headgear and then reveal who it is.
Yeah, that's rather creative, frankly.
I don't think they will pick one person. Say, Pat McAfee, you got the headgear gig. I hope they don't, but I don't think they'll do one person if they do it.
And I'm with you. I don't think it should be McAfee. He may try to do that, but nothing's definitive about what they're going to do in that situation. And again, you and I both talked about that they may just have Lee put it on in his backyard in Orlando.
Yeah. I wish they'd have done that 5 years ago, because it's been a difficult watch. I love Kurt Herbstreit. I think he's been great for college football. I think he's good at what he does. If you're Kurt Herbstreit, number one, imagine, you understand the travel he does on Saturday?
Yes.
Because he does a Saturday night game.
He does.
He is at the game day site, and a lot of times he gets on a Lear jet to go to his night game. And you wonder, I hope this is not true. Would Herbstreit, with all the travel he's done, would he consider going out with Corso? I don't think they'd want that 1-2 miss.
No,
but so he'll stay another year or two, right?
Yeah, I know that. Kirk can stay as long as he wants to.
Yeah.
He and Saban now are quite a team. And to your point, people don't realize maybe Kirk does a Thursday night NFL game.
Absolutely.
And then he goes to wherever the game day is going to be. And then obviously he's at game day. But Terry's right. He may be going, look, their game day may be in Tuscaloosa, and he ends up going to do a game
in Happy Valley.
Something like that, or even on the West Coast.
But game day will always end on Saturday at noon Eastern.
Yes.
But every once in a while he gets lucky in the game that he's calling is that location. But I don't know if people realize, a lot of times he is whisked off that set with a police escort to not an airport, but to a private Lear jet.
Yes.
And he is beating feet to get to Columbus, Ohio for that night's game with Ohio State, Penn State.
No doubt.
And then you factor in that Thursday. That's a tough grind to keep up.
Can't you imagine how long that Sunday afternoon nap is?
Ooh, man. Imagine that game's getting over at midnight.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I've got a couple of draft things I need to
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Fire away. We got time.
Have you seen the Shedeur Sanders quote from one of the and I know it's going viral now, and I believe this was.
If you haven't used it, I've heard about it. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty.
No. I mean, but basically, it was, and help me on this, Terry. I think this was like a assistant general manager, a scout, assistant coach for somebody.
Quarterback coach, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Said they could not believe how entitled he was.
Yeah, I heard some national guys talking about it, and we don't. I don't have to quote. You may or may not. I don't think we have it here. But yeah, it was not flattering. It made it sound like he is a. And then the guy said, on top of that, I just don't think he's that good of a player.
That's right.
I just don't think he's that good of a player. Now everybody's got their own opinion, but I don't think he's a good player wasn't the damning part of the quote. The damning part of the quote was he made it sound like this guy walked in and he was the cock of the walk, and I'm this and I'm that, and wow, yeah, it was a damning quote today.
Have you seen the Jalen Milroe quote today?
Yes, I did. Why don't you fill people in? I don't want to jump your headline, but it was not pretty.
This was rather ugly.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, I have no doubt that this was probably true, was that if Milroe had come back, all the Alabama receivers were going to transfer.
Isn't that something? Yeah, I was shocked when I read that.
But see, and you saw this in the Michigan in the bowl game. I remember one time he attempted to get the ball to Ryan Williams and threw it over, like an 8-yard out route, and virtually threw it in the stands.
Yeah.
So the receivers were very frustrated with him. And now, in fairness to him, the Alabama receivers were that frustrated with Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
When he was in Alabama. I remember this particularly well in the Auburn game at Auburn. But back to Milroe, and look, Terry, I don't get this. I really don't. And look, in fairness to the kid, now some of the other NFL scouts and NFL people said we weren't impressed with his passing, but he may be the best running quarterback we've ever seen in the league.
Yeah.
And he won us over in the interviews.
How about that? Well, I was going to fire back at you the Milroe negative comments that you just referenced, and the receivers, we weren't coming back if he came back. That was more from his physical throwing, not he's a bad guy. Yeah, okay.
No. There was never any there was never any character issues.
Yeah, so it was more physical than
Milroe. It would just, and look, here's Milroe reminds me of Anthony Richardson. He reminds me of Joe Milton of Tennessee. Richardson of Florida he can throw the ball over the stadium.
Yeah.
But he has trouble throwing 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
To get a first down.
Yeah. And a lot of quarterbacks have had that issue.
Yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks really have had that. Brent, let's go back to the portal. Obviously, basketball and football. The football will close, what do we say, Friday?
Friday. In the basketball, fortunately for all of us, the basketball is already closed.
Yeah, that closed on the 22nd, which I guess yesterday. Now, with regard to the portals, those are the dates the players have to either be in or out.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that portal players can make their choices.
Yes.
Yeah, keep making their choices.
Correct.
Yeah, there'll be action in the portal.
Yes.
Still, nobody can jump into it freshly.
Correct.
But we'll have a lot of information the next few weeks, probably, won't we?
Well, and as usual, and women need to understand this. You're right. But if you're in the portal, can we say you're safe?
Yes.
There still can be activity going on with that.
Yes.
The deadline Friday is you can't get in the portal.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing is we will see like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people's names who are gotten in the portal, and people will say, well, that can't be right because the portal closed Friday. Well, what happened, and you played at a major academic institution in your baseball career. So what you are familiar with is you've got to go through what, Terry, the registrar's office and all this other stuff.
Yep.
And, athletes are not the only people involved in that.
Absolutely.
So sometimes the wheels grind slowly in these portals, and the paperwork doesn't actually come through for maybe 3 or 4 more days.
So there is a few days grace period.
Yes.
That is gonna, an example I used to use, and people would look at me and they go, I get it now. In the old days of the clearinghouse, you would have some transcripts from one school to another, transfers and eligible, and fans could never get their hands around, well, wait a minute, this player at Mississippi State, the clearinghouse has been looking at their stuff for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then, another player in another sport, lacrosse, you heard that they just started looking at him in the clearinghouse, and it was done it was done way before. Well, they couldn't just grab football guys and move to the top of the right.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if there's a list of people that have to get looked at in the clearinghouse, if it's lacrosse, volleyball, track and field, football, they can't just pull the football people and put on top.
No, absolutely not.
I think fans thought they could do that, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be prejudice, and that would be looked upon very poorly. As our mutual friend Brady Ackerman, who was a star at Florida, we know.
Yes.
And who, by the way, is back in coaching.
He is. Belhaven, quarterback coach.
Yes.
Belhaven.
Oh, yes, as Chino departs. He said, when he was in his radio career, he said, this is not a clearinghouse, it's a blocking house.
Yes, that's good.
It's blocking people from getting in with that. But no, you're right about the portal. And there are some ADs. As a matter of fact, Ross Bort from Ohio State said they really need to move this portal to May.
Yeah.
And shorten it some more. And by the way, we'll get into this more later, but did you see where the Arkansas AD is trying, Nico's younger brother, Madden, left to go to UCLA.
With his brother, yeah.
With his brother, and the Arkansas AD, it's trying to get their NIL money back, Terry.
Yeah. I heard it's in the amount of 500,000.
Yeah. Hey, we want our money back now.
Yeah.
Now, the legalities of that are too long for you and I to get into.
Yeah.
But look, I think we're going to see more of this, don't you?
Yeah, I do too. And when they become, you're going to see a lot of stuff you see in the NFL when they become employees. Finally, when you have the school on one side and the players union on the other side, you'll have buyouts, and I think you'll have stuff like that. I think, Brent. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say this real quick, Terry. And this goes back to something you've always said, that college football shoots itself in the foot. Okay, the college football playoff met yesterday, today, and they meet tomorrow. They have 3 days.
Good
okay,
Lord.
so whatever they come out with, what is tomorrow, by the way, Terry? Now think about this a minute. Why do they do this to themselves?
Yeah.
Why in the world would you come out with major changes and tomorrow's the first day of the NFL draft?
NFL draft. Yeah. You talk about buried. Yeah. I can believe it because some of the stuff they've done over the years, I've shaken my head at.
It's amazing.
Shaking my head at. Brett, we can get into this Friday, but I just want to throw it out. We got 1.5 minutes left. Man, what a heated baseball series coming up in Austin, Texas. How about Texas A&M at Texas? A&M, the runner-up last year, with Schlossnagle, the A&M coach, spent 2 weeks in Omaha saying, I'm not going to Texas, chewed out a reporter, and then he took off to – so Schlossnagle is the Texas head coach now, and they host A&M. Gonna be a hot one in Austin Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Don't you know it will? And by the way, I know the clock's ticking, but
we're good.
But you and I have said this for a while, and you may have changed your mind on this. Jacksonville really needs to forget drafting a skill position player at 5.
I'm with you.
Get them either an offensive lineman or a defensive end.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Big ugly, not big sexy, but it's gonna be fun because they are either smoke screening. This Jeanty stuff has gotten really heavy smoke now.
Oh yeah,
heavy smoke. And 30 seconds, but the ESPN guy who's supposedly sourced real good, his mock draft today was all of his sources, what they say, not his thought. And it got to 5, and he said Ashton Jeanty, and his source was Mike Duraco. We know Mike.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be. Hey, that 5th pick is going to be the one that either keeps the calm tomorrow or causes the chaos. The Jaguars are right in the middle of it.
Yeah. Hey, what's your over and under for Terry Norvelle on how quickly you get tired of? He's a tweener.
Oh God.
He's got a great vertical.
Oh God.
How quick does that last for you?
And those poor guys on that set for 3 days. Goodness gracious. All right, Brent, let's get back together on Friday. As always, great work. We appreciate what you do for the show.
Brother. Take care.
That'll wrap it up. We'll get back together tomorrow. Come see us. We'll be live at Sliders Oyster Bar 4 to 6 on draft day. We'd like to hope you come have a draft before the draft. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation, pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.